to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today Around Kansas begins with a story about the Washington County Museum. Then learn about Stan Hurd's latest project, Cairns on the Beach, an exhibit at the Beach Museum of Art in Manhattan. Next, enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at Rod Beemer's new book, The Notorious Kansas Bank Heist, Gunslingers to Gangsters. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Well, it's early in the morning. It's Wednesday. This must be Around Kansas. I'm Frank.
I must still be Deb.
So good morning to you. And here we are in the historic Dillon House, all decorated for Christmas since we're getting close now. And
getting closer.
Behind us is one of the many fireplaces in here, wonderfully decorated, of course, by Porterfield Flowers.
David and his crew are just amazing, aren't they? I'd love to have them come to my house.
Yeah.
Well, since we're in the middle of December already, the month of giving, I wanted to talk about giving, and we've been giving you some gift ideas for the last couple of weeks, and we've got some more for you today. There was a lot of talk about Small Business Saturday, after Black Friday and everything. And so I wanted to give you some ideas about small businesses. We're small businesses. As an author, I'm a small business. Frank with Ren Radio, small businesses. So, the community is small businesses. There's a lot you may not think about. So we wanted to remind you of some of those. A lot of my friends are authors and craftspeople, artists, all small businesses. And Frank, for some reason, people just give me stuff.
Just reenacting Black Friday here.
Yeah, give it here. So
I'll hold these for you.
Thank you, Vanna. So my friend Ian Hall, who is originally from Scotland, and he is married to the lovely Carla Hall, who does our social media stuff for us at Ag AM in Kansas. And Ian is an incredibly talented and prolific author. So these are some of his titles. And yes, they are fiction. They're, we hope, the Clockwork, it's all really made up people. This Jamie Leith series, this is Scottish history. So he knows the history really well and incorporates that. He's got a new series of books on the Penny Dreadfuls. Have you watched the Penny Dreadful series that's on, I think it's on HBO. I'm not sure what network it's on. It's kind of dark. He has taken the original Penny Dreadfuls, and that story is really cool because when people, during the industrial age, more people were literate and able to read, they started writing this trashy literature for them, just for the masses. And that's what the Penny Dreadfuls were. They were just these, cheap novels. And Ian has taken those originals and incorporated them into the text of a new novel. So you can go online and find him on Amazon or just ianhallauthor.com. Are those not beautiful? This Connecticut Vampire, oh man, this is great. You will love these books. Okay,
and where can we get them?
At Amazon, and they're available as ebooks, or I think it's ianhallauthor.com, and he'll be happy to sign them for you. So yeah, these are just wonderful.
Okay.
And
I think I'm going to go read.
If you want to give us some more stuff, we'll talk about that, won't we, Frank?
Yeah. Amuse yourself. I'm going to go read.
All righty. See you later, Frank.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community. Visit the Territorial Capitol Museum, where more than 70 trees are displayed with thousands of antique and vintage ornaments, and be sure to stop in the gift shops in both Lecompton museums. Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back. While we were gone and while you were watching that story, I read all 3 of those books. I'm a speed reader, you know.
And they were good, weren't they?
They were good.
All right.
Yeah.
See, there's your unsolicited testimonial from Frank himself.
So go get
Good
the
job.
books.
Get the books. Get the books.
So museums and all that, we have a lot of them in Kansas, you know.
And do not overlook your county museums, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about today, because so many of the county museums have wonderful collections, and a lot of folks spend the winter months, of course, doing genealogy and family history, you know, the reading, things you can do inside, and a lot of the county archives, Shawnee County actually has its own genealogical society with a little reading room and museum. So a lot of the county museums offer that as well. So yeah, it's a great time to go. They've got gift shops, so go in and support their gift shops because that helps keep the museums going.
You know, I just have to say here, you know you're getting older when stuff you grew up with is in a museum.
You know, the museum we're going to talk about, Washington County, has this incredible camera exhibit. There are hundreds of cameras. And this collector just gave, so I'm going through this exhibit of collectible antique cameras, and I'm like, I got that for Christmas, you know, one year, and it's just like, I had one of the, oh no, it's like, it's not just the, you know, the things where the photographer put his head under the drape and was taking pictures. It's, no, you got your Brownie camera that Mama had, and then you got the Polaroid Instamatics.
But, you know, the ones that had the little flash attachments, and you try to get the flash bulb in there and poof, it goes.
Can you, Christmas, remember Christmas when everybody was doing that and the flash bulbs were just everywhere and you'd have to run out and buy flash bulbs in the middle of Christmas because you, don't open that yet, we've got to get the flash. And so, yeah.
Well, yeah, so
Gosh.
that's why I say stuff you grew up with is now in the museum.
If only we had not played with that stuff and just, you know, torn it up, it might be worth something today.
So
let's take a look at the Washington County Museum. One rainy day on Highway 36, I detoured a little off the road to visit Washington. Luckily, the county museum on the downtown square was open, and the lady at the desk offered to call John Barley to give me a tour. I hated to bother him, but I sure was glad he was the one who showed me through the buildings. He had been president of the society for many years and built many of the exhibits himself. I was startled to realize the county museum wasn't just one building, but several. Over the years, the Emmons Schoolhouse was moved to the site. It was the first one-room school in the county. A jail and sheriff's residence were added to the collection of buildings as well. It would take days to view every display. The collection of cameras is staggering and a gold mine for the researcher. A room devoted to the Pony Express history contains memorabilia and a few artifacts from the era of the Hollenberg station, including 2 tombstones which were found on the Oregon Trail, a pick and gold pan that were used by miners in the California Gold Rush of 1849, and a quilt believed to have been made by Sophia Hollenberg. Family Bibles, guns, and a tin horn believed to have been used by a Pony Express rider as he neared the station. It was all quite fascinating. As John showed me through the museum, his passion was plain. He had loved making this museum happen and telling his county's story. It showed in the great care and attention to detail in every corner. The Otwell Broom Factory exhibit was my favorite. Originally in Strawberry Township, it is recreated in the museum annex. Most of the equipment and supplies in the display are from the original factory started by William Otwell in 1892. Mr. Otwell employed as many as 5 broom makers, and he had hundreds of customers in several states. He remained active in his business until his death in 1947, when his delivery truck was struck by a freight train at Hickman, Nebraska. The brooms were made of locally grown broom corn, a member of the sorghum family. I had no idea. The humble broom has a remarkable story, and this little factory exhibit tells it very well. I had to get back on the road, and so I said farewell to John Barley. I can't wait to return.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fall is a great time to plant perennials, trees, shrubs, and bulbs. Root development occurs with the moist and cool soil conditions, which means better growth next year with less watering and maintenance. The use of mulch on all plantings helps protect from freezing, thawing, and drying out. Let Jackson's help with your next planting.
Jackson's top quality fall bulbs for spring blooming have arrived. Always plant the best bulbs for bigger, better blooms.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Welcome back, and Frank, of course, is our rock and roll man, our DJ, and of course, lately it's been more rocks than roll, hasn't it, Frank?
Rocks.
Rocks, he's our rock man.
Stacking rocks. No, and people do that. No, they do stack rocks. And I think, I know our producer here also said that it's illegal to stack rocks now in Colorado Springs. So anyway, because
I think it was
got
Boulder.
dangerous. Well, because they got rather large and
They weren't very good at stacking rocks, apparently. I guess there's an art to stacking rocks, isn't there?
There is an art to stacking rocks, and that's what we're going to talk about next. And of course, many Kansans are familiar with the name Stan Hurd.
Amazing.
Because in Topeka, west of Topeka, out by Security Benefit here a couple of years ago, Stan did a sculpture in the tall grass there. And of course, it survived for a couple of seasons, really. Now, he doesn't do crop circles that I know of. Those are aliens. But nevertheless, you know, he is famous for a lot of his art in fields and working with grains and all of that. But he also does rocks.
Bless his heart.
And he kind of teamed up with a group from K-State. Anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of things here, but that's what the story is about next. Stan Hurd and his rocks. Some people see a pile of rocks. Some people see grass and dirt. Some people see fields, just fields of corn or wheat. Stan Hurd sees art. Throughout the fall 2014 semester, Kansas artist Stan Hurd worked with students from the K-State Departments of Art and Landscape Architecture and Regional and Community Planning to design and install a temporary outdoor installation. Inspired by the artist's encounter with stacked rock sculptures in woods near Perry Lake, Cairns on the Beach highlights the natural beauty of our region's geology and pays homage to the long history of built stone structures in Kansas. Hurd, who is best known for his work as a crop artist, arranging rocks, dirt, and plants into compositions best seen from above, acted as lead artist on this collaboratively designed project. He consulted with masons and carvers in the region to learn stacking techniques and source local stone. The second phase of Cairns on the Beach, featuring a green planting, occurred during the spring 2015 semester. The installation will remain on display through the spring 2017 semester to allow visitors to view the work in a full range of seasons. Todd Johnson assisted on the project. Howard Hahn and Katie Kingery Page, both associate professors in K-State's Department of Landscape Architecture and Regional and Community Planning, served as advisors for this project. Participating landscape architecture students are Diane Cocchiara, Beth Crable, and Nicholas Mercado. Art students Troy Britt, Hannah Jennings, and Cornelius Hugo also collaborated on the design and installation. This is only one of many outstanding works at the beach. In the decades since its founding, it has acquired some incredible work and staged some amazing exhibits. In January 1928, K-State dedicated what is now the Hale Library. The building featured a temporary exhibition of over 100 paintings and prints by Birger Sanson, the Swedish-born painter and professor of art at Bethany College in Lindsborg. The following month, students, faculty, and the Manhattan community organized a successful fundraising campaign to acquire 2 of Sanson's large oil paintings. These became the first objects in the K-State art collection. The Friends of the Beach Museum of Art was established to raise funds for the acquisition and care of work in the permanent collection. Check out their website for more information on joining or visiting. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Howdy folks, I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate. There are many great things that come from our cowboy heritage. One of their very simplest is one we find on our feet. This poem is entitled Building Boots. Many things have been invented and not all have taken root, but one of the great inventions was the simple cowboy boot. The cowboy boot is something that won't cross most people's minds. They think it's just a footwear style like all the other kinds. But cowboy boots are special because they're made a certain way, and that is what I want to explain to you today. The first cowboy boots were made after 1865 to be used by the drovers on their great cattle drives. They were made out of cowhide, which is what they had on hand, and these boots were shaped to suit the cowboys' work demands. They were made heavy duty so that they were good for every season, and every feature of the boot is for a certain reason. For example, why do cowboy boots have round or pointed toes? To get in and out of stirrups fast when a horse goes. The heels were angled sharply so they could dig into the ground when a cowboy ropes a calf and it tries to run around. Of course, the boots were made of good old cowhide leather to protect the feet and legs and keep them warm in cold weather. The uppers of the boot protect the lower leg, you see, from a snake bite or a sticker from a thorny locust tree. The stitching on the leather isn't just for the design, but it helps stiffen the leather for protection sure and fine. So you see, there is a reason for the way the boot is made, but if we don't remember, then that history will fade. The styles of boots have changed with time as fashions ebb and flow, but that's the reason for the first design those years ago. The modern cowboy still wears boots. He likes the wear and feel, but his town boots may have roper toes and a lower walking heel. So let's celebrate this element of our early Western roots and thank those designers of the early cowboy boots. And one more thing, another benefit most people never catch. When I wear boots, no one will know. My socks don't have to match. Happy trails.
I'm a patient of Kansas Regenerative Medicine in Manhattan. I had stem cell therapy in my hips and my left knee. My wife and I both are patients. We went down there the same day in November. Since then, my hips are feeling a lot better. I can work now most of the day if I want to. And before, if I worked in the morning, I was done in the afternoon, or if I worked in the afternoon, I was sure enough done for the rest of the day.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
And we're back. Rocks. Okay.
He can just make art out of anything.
Yes,
I swear. He's amazing. And the Beach Museum, you've got to go. What's our John Stewart Curry? The John Stewart Curry stuff that's at the Beach Museum, just incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to go.
Book plug time again.
Yes, once more, I have gotten gifts in the mail. My good friend Rod Beemer has a book signing this Saturday. I think that's Saturday, the 19th, at Books A Million in Salina from 1 to 3 p.m. This is the perfect Christmas gift. All about bank robberies in Kansas. You know, nice, wholesome, family entertainment. This book is fantastic. I got to visit with Rod when he was writing this, and he's written on Kansas weather. You've interviewed Rod. You did a whole show with Rod one time. So he's a wonderful author, very accomplished. These stories will blow you away, like the planes with the machine guns mounted to them during the height of the bank robbery era. So it's just, you're going to love it. According to historian Rod Beemer, bank robbers have wreaked havoc in the Sunflower State. After robbing the Chautauqua Bank in 1911, outlaw Elmer McCurdy was killed by lawman, but wasn't buried for 66 years. Viewers may see the segment in which McCurdy's story was featured at AroundKansas.com. His afterlife can only be described as bizarre. Belle Starr's nephew, Henry Starr, claimed to have robbed 21 banks. The Dalton gang failed in their attempt to rob 2 banks simultaneously, but others accomplished this in Waterville in 1911. Nearly 4,000 known vigilantes patrolled the Sunflower State during the 1920s and 1930s to combat the criminal nuisance. One group even had an airplane with a .50 caliber machine gun. Yes, bankers and lawmen went to great lengths to defend and repel robbers, including rigging safes with vials of poison. Thus, most robberies were foiled and most villains caught, jailed, or killed. There were few successes to report for the bad guys. But then came the Newton boys. Allegedly, these Texans carried off, quote, more loot than Jesse and Frank James, the Dalton boys, Butch Cassidy, and all the other famous outlaw gangs put together. The enterprising siblings robbed the bank in Arma, Crawford County, Kansas, by chiseling through the wall. They later admitted to stealing $65,000, but left $200,000 in the safe because they got all they needed. The Newtons were the subject of a best-selling book and then a movie starring Matthew McConaughey, Ethan Hawke, and Skeet Ulrich. Rod has included the legendary and the little-known, and every single story is unforgettable. It is a well-told, colorful tale with more characters than Hollywood could invent. The Notorious Kansas Bank Heist, Gunslingers to Gangsters, the new book by Rod Beemer from the History Press, is available at beamerbooks.com or your favorite bookstore.
Well, here we are out of time again. Hope you had a good time today.
We sure did.
Yeah, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas Farmers.
Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamandkansas.com.